A24 has made quite a name for itself. Most movies they release can usually be expected to be bangers, at least in my opinion. Their horror films are some of the best, I think, horror movies of the modern era, and they specifically produce like artistic, like psychologically driven, elevated horror most of the time. And Talk to Me is the latest of these movies, which is getting critical praise. It's grossed $72 million worldwide against a $4.5 million budget. And of course, a sequel is actively in development. Some people, Marvin, they're saying this could be A24's scariest movie yet. Is it? Let's take a look at Talk to Me.
Let's take a look.
Have you seen the group chat? They're doing it again tonight. No. Please. It's my mom's Remembrance Day. I just want to forget about it.
Talk to Me is about a mysterious hand that allows you to summon a spirit that appears before you. And if you say, I let you in, you become possessed by said spirit. A group of friends sort of discover how this spirit conjuring activity work. They become hooked on this new thrill until they take it a little bit too far and some crazy shit starts to happen. Now, I mean, listen, any normal person would be like, fuck this, get this thing away from me. But they're teenagers, so they don't exactly do the smartest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to feel like they had already taken it too far before because they know the rules now. They're like, these are the parameters of what we got to do for it to be safe.
This is a party trick. It's basically a drug for them. The hand going around is like somebody bringing a bag of weed to a house party. It's like, yo, you want to hit that shit? This takes place in Australia. I don't know where. They don't ever really say, but it's an Australian film. Matter of fact, this movie was directed by Danny Filippo and Michael Filippo, who are the founders of the YouTube channel Raka Raka, which is known for like live action, like horror comedy videos.
Oh,
so this is their first entry into like actual
feature films.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, these kids in this movie, they're bored as fuck in this town, and they ain't got nothing left to do but to fucking smoke Ghost, I guess. That hand might as well be a crack pipe, baby.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Make another hit.
And they look like crackheads too when they're fucking possessed. They're all fucking, their eyes are all
Purple
fucked.
lips
Yeah,
and
purple.
shit,
they got that
That's
fucking,
bad.
they got that crackhead look.
They just need to get right. Just let them get right.
Yeah, you just got to get right.
Boost it up.
And that shit like makes them fucking euphoric and shit. And they're all like, oh, fuck. Oh,
Somehow it makes them euphoric. I don't understand that.
That's some good Ghost.
Because the way they explain it is when they're in the passenger seats, like Get Out. You're trapped. Yeah. You're trapped in the Get Out world.
Well, we get a little bit of
I don't see how that is fucking euphoric in any way.
Well, we get a little glimpse of it, right? At one point, but that shit don't seem euphoric, in my opinion.
No, that was terrible.
This movie stars Sophie Wilde as Mia and Joe Bird as Riley. He's basically the other star of the film. We got Mia's best friend, the annoying, boring Jade, played by Alexandra Jensen. Miranda Otto as Jade's mom, Sue, Jade, and the kid's mom, Riley, yeah. And a bunch of other people that I've never heard of. This movie had like great performances, I think. They're like amazing. Sophie Wilde in this movie, who played Mia, was unbelievable. Like, I thought she did such a great job. And she expressed such a wide range of emotions as the movie goes on. Most of the talk is about Riley, kid Joe Bird, who played Riley, who was also fucking amazing. And he had some hard stuff to do, which we'll talk about. And I thought the performances were really great, really from everybody. Like everybody was like really good.
I can't believe this was only a $4.5 million budget.
Oh, they made fucking bank, baby.
I mean, we talked about that before about Hollywood overspending and their budget and bullshit. You can make a banger of a movie for a little bit of money and fucking make a fuck ton out of it. So,
and this movie uses mostly practical effects, and they're very good too. Like they do enough with them. They're not overly blown out. They're not overdone. They're used very smartly in this movie. I think the plot of the movie is its biggest strength. Unlike normal horror movies, these kids aren't afraid of the paranormal. Like we said, they use it kind of like a drug. Like they're taking fucking bong hits and shit.
Some of them aren't. Yeah, the little brother is a little bit skeptical, afraid at first, and then he's like, "Oh, I want to try too."
It was like the peer pressure. I want to be cool and fit in.
Yeah,
but it's like the Ouija board thing. Like People do that for fun, and it's just like the extreme version of that.
Yeah,
mixed with the party element with the drugs.
Yeah,
treating it like a drug. Yeah.
And I'm glad you mentioned the peer pressure, because that's really what this movie's about. This movie to me kind of seemed like not just about like addiction and like how destructive that could be for the person who's addicted and their friends and family and people close to them, but also this, because this is a very modern like movie. Like these are modern teenagers who are like, addicted to the internet. And this, to me, I kind of read this movie sort of as like an allegory for like the dangers of like TikTok trends and shit like that. Because because this hand moves around from group to group. They're watching it on the internet because everybody's filming it.
Oh yeah.
So one person watches it and then they get a hold of it and then they do it and they're filming it and so on and so forth. So maybe maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of how I took it.
That was the only problem that I had with the cold open. I thought it was great too. It actually reminded me of the Jaws cold open a little bit, where like bang, somebody's dead and here we go into the movie. But like when the brother comes out and he's like, he tries to get everybody to stop filming, like that's futile, bro. You know what age you're in. Everybody's gonna film that shit. It was a little bit cringe, but other than that, I loved it. Yeah.
From the trailer, though, you're led to believe this is like a paranormal horror movie, and I think very quickly into the movie, you realize it's more of a thriller. And even towards the end of the film, it turns into just like a straight drama and like a tragedy. Because there were legitimate moments in this where I got pretty emotional, especially the scenes between Mia and her mom. Mia lost her mom, I think, 2 years ago by the time this movie takes place. And we're told as the audience that she accidentally overdosed on sleeping pills. And this is the anniversary of her mother's death. And she's basically been sort of like, not officially, but like she's been taken into her best friend's family. They adopted her, for lack of a better word, not legally or anything like that. She just spends a lot of time there because she has like a bit of a issue with her dad. She feels like her dad is hiding stuff from her about about her mom's death. So Mia and Jade are best friends, but Mia and Riley, Jade's younger brother, they're very close. It's her emotional state in this time that really sets the stage for what happens in this movie, because the first time they hit the bong, the ghost bong, she's the first to fucking volunteer. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah.
And it gives her fucking a real big rush.
Anything for an escape to get out of the feeling the grief.
Right.
Yeah.
It's at that moment we're taught really the only rule of this movie, which is that you have 90 seconds to be possessed. Anything past 90 seconds, you're fucking stuck. They got you. So they do it in sort of like a controlled way, I guess you could say. They tie you down. They fucking got a timer. They're all laughing and filming it and smoking weed at the same time. But unfortunately for Mia, she's stuck in it a little bit longer than 90 seconds. It sets the stage for the rest of the movie where like these paranormal elements are sort of unleashed.
Kind of turns her into a medium of sorts, it feels like.
Yeah, kind of. It's one of the problems I had with this movie, which we'll get to. So that's really the only rule of the film, and the rest of it, I think it's a very smart movie. It's a very smart horror movie, because I mentioned the kids aren't afraid of the paranormal, and what I meant by that was like they are sort of like, because it's modern, right? And like I feel like modern kids are less afraid of ghost stories than like kids from the fucking 70s or 80s or whatever. And it's because of that like hyper online, always online thing, right? Having so much information at your fingertips just naturally makes you
you get numb to all that shit.
Yeah, just not believing
you see so much. You see all the fucking fake ghost shows and all the other fake ghost stories and all this shit. So,
yeah, it's sort of the way Dusty and I talk about how we don't really get scared by horror movies anymore because we're desensitized to it. These kids who are fucking, hyper online, they're desensitized to just fucking life in general, which is why I thought this was really smart, because they're so desensitized to everything. Like this is the only thing that they could do to like give them some sort of like rush or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it was really good. I didn't know it was such a cheap budget for sure. I would never have thought it was like $4 million or whatever.
It was filmed great. It had great direction. Like I said, great acting. Like it had all the makings of like a movie that you would expect to have a bigger budget. As much as I liked the plot and as much as smart as I thought it was, I did think it was pretty predictable, to be honest.
I mean, it was predictable, which it would have easily been predictable based on, what was going on. But I think the areas where the thing that you were going to predict where they actually happened, I don't think that was predictable.
Well,
like I didn't think it would be Riley that would be his mom.
Oh, I did
necessarily.
Yeah,
I didn't. So
no, that's fair. I mean,
yeah, that was a bit of a twist. Like her seeing her mom.
I knew it was someone was gonna be her mom, but I didn't necessarily think it was gonna be Riley for sure.
Well, I knew something was shitty was gonna happen to Riley. Just the way it happened, like that shit was fucking hard to watch. That was violent as fuck.
I did think it was gonna be Riley only because of the conversation that they had prior.
Yeah,
when he was like sleeping in her bed and like you knew they were really close and stuff like that. Like it had to be, in my opinion. So I knew that was going to happen. And towards the end of the film, spoilers, I knew she was going to stab her dad to death with the scissors. Like there were just, there were little elements that like, I guess if you watch enough horror movies, you could tell. Those two things specifically, I felt very confidently were going to happen. Speaking of the rules that are established, I kind of touched on it a bit. If you're in it for longer than 90 seconds, you're fucked. Other than that, there really wasn't anything, and I think that gave them a lot of leniency in the writing, but I think the plot logic was pretty shaky overall.
Well, you learned also that like they'll just grow weak and leave if you like, so they could have just put Riley in a padded room and waited it out.
Well, because she had been bamboozled by that point.
Right.
By, you know,
whatever
by
the fuck.
her mom, but it wasn't really her mom. It was like some malicious spirit or something, right? So...
And this is why I say the plot logic was a little bit shaky, because you have the one established rule. And again, while I like movies that don't have explanations or they aren't overly explained and they're left ambiguous, I think this movie needed a little bit of something.
Well, that's where people will believe anything, especially.
It's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one thing that I didn't really like as well, because like you put your hand on it and you say, talk to me, you see the spirit. So that would make me allude that you can actually talk to the spirits. Like, the whole I let you in is the drug rush of being possessed by the spirit. You don't have to be possessed to talk to him. That's for other people to talk to them, I guess. But and it was never explained or talked about. Like,
right.
But if you say, talk to me, and the spirit shows up, and there's like, no, and then tried it again, like I would just keep doing that until I got to a good spirit that I wanted to have a conversation with and just talk to him.
Yeah, you don't have to say let me in. I let you in. I let you in was just the drug rush part
that
of it.
Shit.
Right.
Yeah.
But the initial part is just summoning a spirit, being like, talk to me, and then boom, a spirit pops up. If I seen some fucking woman who's bloated from drowning and like she's fucking not looking, she's not looking good, and
I'm not gonna say the words.
Right, I'm just gonna be like,
no.
Yeah, no, I'll catch you later, Ghost. On to the next one.
Fuck off. That's what I would say.
It would be like chat roulette,
re-roll.
like with Ghost version, just like constantly trying to get something different. There weren't really any jump scares in this movie. There were startling moments, especially the first time she got possessed and like fucking throws her head back, and it's just like a jarring moment. But there weren't really any traditionally horror jump scares that they kind of went for, and I really appreciated that.
This is really creepy at times. Like
some of the ghosts are visually terrifying. The shit that happens to fucking Riley is like disturbing as fuck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it had like I was sitting there, I was like, oh fuck, like what are you doing, bro? Like when he's fucking grabbing his eyeball, like it was really effective.
I thought he was gonna split his face open until his sister put her hand on. I was like,
I don't actually think this movie was scary. Did you guys find it scary?
Nah,
not scary. No,
just
like I
creepy.
said, very creepy and very disturbing at times, but not scary.
I love the lighting in the movie. I want to talk about that a little bit because a lot of times in horror movies, when it's dark, it's like motherfuckers just didn't pay the fucking light bill. It's like, because that's something you talk about dusty logic. I ask that shit all. It's like, where are these people? Why aren't the fucking lights on in any of these movies? This movie was good because it gave you like moody, dark, atmospheric lighting without it being fucking stupid and looking unrealistic. Like it's dark in my room right now, but I could fucking see everything. If there was a motherfucker standing in the corner, like I could see it. So yeah, I appreciate a lot of what the movie did. It was very close to being in like the upper echelon, I think, of recent horror movies, but I don't think it's quite there.
Yeah.
I really wish they stayed focused on the character-driven stuff because it feels like they wanted to both flesh out these spirits and what they do and kind of what they want and why they're there, but then they never really do, like we were just talking about. So ultimately, it's a very good film. It's a very sad film, really. It's actually very sad.
Super sad.
I cried a bunch of times, honestly, through the scenes between Mia and her mom. I thought they were really sad. You know, I like that ultimately in this movie better than the spooky stuff. It had a very melancholy ending where, again, it just kind of leaves you feeling sad for her and like, wow, there is no resolution.
I felt sad. I don't know if I think it's got it's kind of implied that her dad lives.
Yeah.
So I feel the saddest for him.
Yeah, there's a lot of people to feel
His
sad
wife
for.
killed herself, daughter killed herself.
Tries to kill him,
now
and
he's
then
just
kills
alone.
herself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty depressing movie, to be honest. Is it A24's scariest movie yet? Absolutely not. I don't think so. Not close. But A24 is definitely leading the charge in like innovative horror films. This has a 7.2 on IMDb. I would give this probably like a 6.5.
6.5, 7. Yeah. Something like that.
I'd give it a 7. Just because it was their first time out. I don't think it deserves a bump, but
that's fair.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah, I mean, if you're scared of ghosts and like believe in that goofy shit, I could see this movie being scary for you. But if you're not and you just appreciate good storytelling and movies that like push storytelling within certain genres, I would definitely recommend checking this out. I don't think it was scary. For a first time outing with mostly unknown actors that did such a fucking good job. Especially like the kid Riley, like I'm gonna credit his name again, Joe Bird. Like he really was amazing in this, and again she was too. Like she hit a whole wide range of shit.